What's up, everybody? All right, so here's my take on the Self-Perfected event. So we just got back home recently, right? It's beautiful summertime now. You might hear some dogs in the background or some birds or whatever, but I want to just reflect on some of the huge takeaways that we had from this event. This is the first time we ever brought the Self-Perfected community all together. We've been doing Hangouts now for almost 4 years, which is really amazing. But yeah, I mean, if you never heard of Self-Perfected, it's a Facebook group. That's really what it is at its core. And it's a community of people getting together. I guess Facebook's the current platform we're on until we can build our own platform. But community of people coming together with principles, but people who are really serious about two main things. One is changing yourself, and the other is changing the system. Meaning we got to look at how we can change the culture, change politics, change the media, change what our kids are getting educated with and all that. So it was awesome. Like, imagine this, right? Some of you are listening to this are parents. Some of you aren't parents yet. Some of you maybe don't want to be parents, but just imagine you got your spouse and your kid or kids, and you can bring them to a place like beautiful resort, sand, beach, palm trees, the sun, all that. And you have your kid is now able to make a bunch of new friends like right away. And there's a bunch of other really cool parents who are aligned with the values and the purpose. So you're cool with like hanging out with those families. And I just witnessed this like right away. I mean, Aristotle, our son, just goes right up to, it was Caius right away, and then Max and Seneca and all these other kids in the community. And they're just like playing and just, running around, having fun. And to just see the smile on Aristotle's face is just so priceless, because I know that he's going to grow up with these kids and they're going to be best friends and build businesses together and work on really cool things. I mean, he's only 8 months old, so he's not really communicating with words, but just his expression and everything, it is really, really cool to see. Like, I see this community at a way higher level now that I didn't quite see before, because now knowing that Aristotle and all of our other kids, as they arrive, are going to just have that level of connection and friendship and community. So that was awesome. A couple of the things that were extremely unique about this, because I go to a lot of events. I mean, this past year I was at some Tony Robbins events. I go to gin events. I go to a lot of like marketing conferences, things like that. And the difference that I noticed with the Self-Perfected event was the people were there to give first. And there was no like special like guru thing. There are some cool people there that like a lot of people wanted to meet. For example, like Avery and Cameron, a lot of people hadn't met them. And I mean, like rightfully so, Avery and Cameron have done a lot and they have a lot of success. And so they were speakers, and sometimes people are like, oh, cool. It's like, it's so fun to meet you. But it was cool because it was like the same thing with then 100 other people there, where people are like, oh, wow, I've seen you on Zoom, or, hey, we chatted and everything, but not actually hang out in person. It does something to you. Like, it really does something to you. And my friend Sam was saying this the other day. He said, I've never been in a community like this where you just can go deep right away with somebody, talking about like where you're hung up or where they're hung up or what they're working through or their goals and that kind of thing. And so it'd be like one person comes up to the other and they're like asking for advice on something. And they're like really pondering it and looking at it, and they're like working through it. And then that person gets their breakthrough, and then it flips. And then the other person's like, well, yeah, cool, I'm glad I helped you with that, but I'm actually stuck with this. And then the person who just got helped can then help the other. And that's really, really awesome. Like, we call it a community of equals. It doesn't mean everyone's the same. It means that everyone can see the value in everybody else equally. Like, everyone has an inherent value of just being there and being down with the cause and the mission and the purpose. And that was very unique, because I remember one night, so we like to stay up late. It's fun. And there's no drugs and alcohol, which is like really, really cool. So no one's like, off in the corner getting high or something, or like, sneaking drinks or whatever. It's like everyone's there just clear. And so that was really cool too, because you're able to see people like Tamara was saying this, she's like, wow, I've never been around this many people like this. And like you're on the dance floor and having fun on the Saturday night party. And you can just tell everyone there is real. No one's like, overzealous and, guys coming up and acting weird and trying to hit on the women. And then you're wondering in the back of your mind, like, is this really this person or is it just because they're drinking? With here is like, what you see is what you get. And then the way that we designed the event was to help people get out of their comfort zone. Not so much that it was like extreme and people were like panicking or anything, but it's like, there was enough. Whereas like, hey, go hug a stranger, go, tell someone why you're here, tell someone your intention for the event, go find someone you never met before and, give them a hug and tell them a little bit about your story. Like we engineered that into the event, but in a really cool, like friendly way. And a ton of people had huge benefit from that. But back to my story here of the 2 a.m. crew out at the fire. So there's like, imagine this, right? You have these like really nice beach bungalows, and then it opens up literally straight to the beach, and then there's the ocean right there. Well, is the bay connected to the ocean. And you're looking out, and like at nighttime, you can see these hills. So it's in San Diego, California, and you can see like hills and hills, and you see all these different lights, like street lights, house lights, businesses, whatever. And it looks like it looks like the night sky almost. It looks like stars. It was really cool. And then you go out and there's like a big bonfire out at the beach. And you go out there and there's just 60 people all having conversations with each other. And, sometimes there's a big group discussion, sometimes more one-on-one. And like, if you haven't ever been around this many supportive people, it might not make sense. But like literally imagine the conversations, like some of the best conversations you've had with your best friends. Imagine literally 72 hours straight of that. And it's like big family reunion, and it's fun and energizing, and it was wild. And one evening we were out at the fire, and John Solorio, who's a core member of the group, he's like standing up next to the fire pit, and he was just sharing some insights he had from one of the exercises we did in one of the main sessions. And he's talking about how you have like memories that are holding you back, and how really what a memory is in your mind, you're holding yourself back. And so he was sharing these really cool insights on ways that he was able to let go of like this thought of holding himself back, and how he's realized like he's able to be the best version of himself. And as he's saying that, I'm looking around and there's like 20, 30 people just like locked in, like looking at him. They're just like, yeah, wow. And then they're having insights. And then it goes back and forth. And it's like, that level, it was like, if you ever felt like you've been empty or drained and you like are out of energy and you're trying to pour your cup into other people's cup, this is the complete opposite of that. It was like your cup was guaranteed overflowing. And even now, I just got off of the phone with another guy who was at the event, and he's still overflowing. It's like, that's real support, that's real community. And we're still just really getting started with Self Perfected. I want to share one other story too, because these stories kind of encapsulate what the event meant to me and what I got from it. So there's another couple there that has been dating for like 3 years, and they were having a conversation by the pool one day with another guy and this other guy is married and has a kid. And this couple was talking to him, and they had really like just met, or maybe they'd seen each other in the group, online, but they had met and they're talking, and the guy who's with his girlfriend was having insights onto how he just had fear of commitment, of actually getting married and taking the next step to get engaged, really. And him being in that new environment with her allowed them to have new level of conversation. And he was able to just be honest of like, look, this commitment thing's been like holding me back. And he was able to get himself to the point where he made the decision to go to the next level. And now they're looking at getting engaged and getting married and everything. And that was from one conversation out of however many conversations happened that weekend. And you think about the ripple effect of that, because now that couple's now going to be married soon, and they'll have kids at some point, and then their kids will come into this community. And now my son will have a new friend to hang out with. And it's like, it's so cool, because then it's like everything that Jessica and I are doing to build Aristotle and our family and this community here locally feeds into them, and everything they do locally feeds into us. And it's this really epic network of people. And literally our mission is the biggest mission we could imagine. It's to change the system And it's to end child slavery, abuse, and poverty through education. Real education. Real education is hanging out at 2 a.m. learning about what memories really are. Real education is learning about what fears are holding you back and then letting them go and knowing how to do that. Real education is supporting someone to have an insight into where they're accepting less than their full potential. And it's just remarkable. So yeah, we had, I don't even remember how many tickets we sold, but it was around like 160, 170. And it was so much fun to see everyone who came out, because the people who are willing to travel, some of them around the world, like we had a huge crew from Germany there, family from London, the UK, all over. And it's like to get all the way over to San Diego, stay in a nice resort. Some of us, we were there for a whole week. The level of friendship and community that you build is just amazing, because in a world where everyone's getting more and more lonely, like everyone at that event was welcome. And it was just so much fun, because the kind of people who get there are the kind of people who want to be there. And it's only going to grow from here. So we're going to announce the next event at some point here. We like to do things right in this community. We don't like to build things off of hype. Sure, it gets kind of hype when you're having fun and talking to people and, achieving your purpose and hitting your goals. That's fun. But it's not like an excessive or like unwarranted hype. So we will have an event in 2024. I don't know exactly when. I do know where, but I'm not going to tell you yet. But it's going to be really, really cool. And my goal is to 5x the amount of people that are there. Because the world's so desperate. Like, I've just heard from more and more people. Probably the most common thing I hear about Self Perfected is they're like, wow, this is literally what I've been looking for. Community of cool people, high quality people who all understand business, the importance of growing business, making money, being financially free, but also in a way where you don't then sacrifice your family or your relationships or your marriage. We also value the family. We value having kids and raising the kids properly, raising the kids to be empowered, to have real vocabulary, to be adaptable, to be able to thrive in a world where AI and the world is changing really fast. And we come together and have that accountability in that community. So it's been so fun to see grow, and we got a lot more in store. We're really just getting started. And the one last part I'll share, I just thought of this too, is like I said earlier, there's no leader of the group. Like, the whole point is self-leadership. Yes, I was the one who came up with the idea to throw everyone in a Facebook group. But then Drake was in there, and then, all sorts of people joined. And then Mayor ran with it and built the clubhouse in Houston to have the biggest one. And, Cameron came up with the idea of having the podcast. So it's this really cool group dynamic where everyone's a self-leader. It's just all about self-perfection, which means becoming the best version of yourself as best as possible. And so that was really highlighted on Saturday evening. So Saturday evening, we hosted a red carpet gala. This is at the event in San Diego. And it was like, everyone dress your best. So if guys, wear tuxes. Sorry, my neighbor's sawing something. I don't know. Country life. I think he's sawing something. Or his dog is in serious trouble. And so Saturday night, we're having this red carpet gala. And, so everyone's dressed up. The women look beautiful. The men look super handsome. And all that is like really badass. And then we properly had a gala. So nice meal, nice dessert, everything. And during the meal, Drake and I were hosting and emceeing, but we brought up, I think in total, we had 12 or 13 different people come on stage from the community. And we had like Ona and Chantel came on stage, and they brought Stellar, their baby. And Ona and Chantel literally met through the group. We had Christine come on stage, and her and Drake shared how they met through the group. And they got a baby on the way. And then we had like Austin was up there, Jewel was up there, Kristen and Bruce were up there sharing how this group has been key in helping them not just save their marriage, but totally transform their marriage, and now for their kids as well. Katie was up there talking about the vision of the group and looking at, I know you can see this event, but imagine 10 events from now. We had kids on the stage. Melissa and her daughter Aria were on the stage, and Aria's 5, and she was talking about how she used the principles of self-perfection to get rid of anxiety. When she would like choose what toy she wanted to get at the toy store, how it would make her anxious. And it actually impacted some of the adults Like, it was so cool to see. So that is the community that's here, and the best part is you can literally join us. If you resonate with this, it's free to join. It's a Facebook group. If you're on the fence about like, hey, what is this group, and you know, what does it stand for, message me, find me on Facebook. It's not that hard. Find my email, whatever. It's in the description in these videos, or in the comments, or wherever this video ends up. But it's all summed up in this phrase: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's what this group's all about, is going the furthest and doing it together. And right now, I know it's not for everybody. I know some people still react to it. Some people still say, oh, how dare you use the word perfected? No one can be perfect. It's like, you missed the whole point. We use the word perfection because if you look it up in the dictionary, perfection is the process of becoming the best version possible. And so I know not everyone's resonating with it yet, but find about 20 to 30% of people love this thing. That's what we're looking for. And over time, it'll grow and it'll spread. And you'll see the kids grow up in this community, and the kids will make more money than adults. And like Max is working on starting businesses. And I mean, he's already learned how to sell. And Max is 6, and he's one of the many kids in this community. And it's only growing from here. So anyway, I know this was a little bit long video, but I just wanted to share my takeaways from the event, because back home now, and man, I'm so excited for the next one. And now it's like, shout out to everybody who showed up, because you're the visionaries. You're the ones who could see it before we have now the hype videos coming out and the pictures and the red carpet and all that looks nice, because some people join just because now they have social proof. And that's cool. Like, I realize that. And also though, shout out to the people who could see it, and you were there, and you made the effort to be there, and you gave, and you danced your ass off on the dance floor and had a ton of fun. And now you're back in your local communities building your clubhouses, because that's the main thing. Is every 2 weeks we have a clubhouse in, I think, 25 cities now around the world. And if you want to tap in, find a way, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you get plugged in. Every Friday we do the hangout. Every Wednesday evening, at least for now, we're doing like trainings on the principles and the things the group stands for. And there's a lot of good stuff. So yeah, if you're looking for new friends, people that hold you to a higher level, people that want the best for you genuinely, who want the best for the world, and will support you for real, reach out. All right. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.